All right, let's try this. Check, 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 check. All right, we are live. I've got a little surprise for you. But well, no, you got it. Come here, right here, right there. There you go. This one, right here. See, right there, Paigey.
Boo!
Boo. What do you got? You showing him? What are you showing him? A marshmallow? Right here. Here, let's do this. Ready? Oh, wait a minute. There we go. What do you got? A marshmallow?
A marshmallow ho-ho.
A marshmallow what?
A marshmallow ho-ho.
Marshmallow ho-ho.
No, marshmallow ho-ho-ho.
Okay. Well, say happy 4th of July to everybody.
Well,
Go ahead.
I am going to be a music player when I grow up, so I got to go practice doing some songs.
Okay. Can you shut that door for Daddy?
Sure.
Thank you. You need anything, come on back in.
Okay.
All right. All right, what's going on, everybody? Good Saturday. Happy 4th of July to everyone. We've got a nasty little line of thunderstorms all of a sudden starting to explode here over the last, I'd say, 45 minutes. It hasn't even been an hour here. The radar was really, really quiet. And then all of a sudden, within, again, the last at least 30 to 40 minutes, all of a sudden everything is just exploded. It's erupted, and that's exactly what we thought would happen. That's what the Storm Prediction Center has been waiting for. That's what the National Weather Service has been waiting for. In case you guys, I know a lot of you have been out and about. You've been swimming in the pool because that's what I was doing all day. You're at a barbecue. It's the 4th. You're doing whatever with your family here. So in case you have not already seen, the National Weather Service issued this severe thunderstorm watch. Now, the watch is in effect until 11 o'clock this evening. But if you look at the radar out here to the west, you can clearly see what's getting ready to happen here. We've got a nasty little, it almost looks like a Boeing feature that's already starting to take shape. And remember, we've been talking about, if you've been following me on my social media platforms all day, because I've been posting all day long, the biggest concern is for strong straight line winds of 70 to 80 miles. That's right, 70, Paige, tell them 70 to 80 miles per, tell them 70, say 70, 70, try 80. All right, honey, come on. All right, what are you showing them now? Come on, I gotta start talking to them, okay? What do you got? What are you showing them? And what is that? Tell the people who that is.
Shine.
Shine?
I mean, shimmer.
Shimmer? And who is Shimmer?
This.
What cartoon is this?
I don't know.
You don't know? Okay, how about you go play with Mommy real quick, all right?
I'm not playing. I'm practicing.
Okay. All right, so that is basically what's been going on here last couple of hours. Now we're finally starting. I mean, tremendous heating. Do you know we hit 101 or 102 degrees again today? Unofficially, I know the high is 101 at least, minimum. That's 3 straight days where the airport in Philadelphia has hit at least 101 degrees. That has never happened in recorded history, and the data goes all the way back to the 1880s, okay? So that has never happened. Now, we have had 3 days in a row where the official reporting station in Philadelphia has hit 100 or higher. That's actually happened 2 other times. This is now the 3rd. But 101 or higher, 101 degrees, 3 straight days, has never happened until right now. So congratulations, everybody. You're a part of history. Although I'm not sure any of you really wanted to be a part of this history here, as it's pretty doggone awful out there. We were outside earlier today, and I'm just drained right now. I mean, we weren't swimming for very long, probably about maybe an hour and a half, 2 hours tops, and it just drains you. My goodness. And that's kind of how I feel right now. I'm just like blah. So I'm going to need some thunderstorms to wake me up. And that's exactly what's starting to happen here. So here's a look at it. Let's quickly zoom in. All right. And there it is right there. All right. You can see that's a nasty, nasty looking line. All right. Now the whole thing is warned. Let's click on some of these warnings here. And what we're seeing is a couple of, now we saw this, if you remember, we saw this yesterday. There were a slew of these up to the north, across northern New Jersey, the Wilkes-Barre Scranton area, the Poconos. they were tagged. They either had considerable tags or they had destructive tags to them. That's when you start popping winds 70 to 80 miles per hour. We have winds right now potentially up to 70 miles per hour coming out of Elizabethtown, out of Manchester, out of York, out of Shrewsbury, out of Hanover. So they all have that considerable tag to them. Now, this is all straight line wind, but remember, straight line wind can produce tremendous amount of damage, just like a tornado can. All right, remember we've had derechos that have had winds up to 80 miles per hour. We've had downbursts with winds up to 80 miles per hour. This will rearrange your lawn furniture pretty good. All right, you know what I mean? So if you're listening to me right now, now you're running out of time in Lancaster County, but if you're listening to me right now in Chester County, in Berks County, in Montgomery County, Philadelphia County, Delco, northern Newcastle County, if you're listening to me right now from any one of those counties and you've got anything kind of loose in the yard, just kind of sitting there or whatever, you need to hunker down right now. You've got time. You don't have a lot of time, but you have time right now. Get out there and do it. Either tie it down, bring it inside, because the problem is what ends up happening here when you start picking up winds like this. I mean, think about this. Let's assume for a second we do get some 70-mile-an-hour wind gusts. That's just 4 miles per hour shy of hurricane force wind speeds. Okay? So when you start getting winds like this, it is going to pick up anything and everything and toss it. You're going to start getting projectiles, like pieces of wood or whatever, thrown around like projectiles. It can become very dangerous. So again, if you're listening to me from the counties that I just highlighted, that I just mentioned, take some time right now, get out there, tie the stuff down, or bring it indoors. Also, just walk around the yard, walk around the house, make sure that you are prepared. Also, make sure that you're prepared for power outages, okay? You start popping 70-mile-an-hour gusts like this, and you're going to start seeing some power outages. That's another thing. So what I would do here, if I'm in, all right, I'm just going to name counties here. If you're in Chester County, Delaware County, Lancaster County, Philadelphia County, I know the parade and the festivities are going on with the music acts and the fireworks. But if you're in any one of those counties here, make sure that your phones are charged, your iPads are charged. Just make sure that, you're prepared if you lose power for a couple hours. All right, that's the kind of winds that we're getting ready to see here. All right, so that's the warning right now that's in Berks County. Here's the warning just to actually, I'm sorry, that is not Berks County. This is, what the heck county is that? It's the county that Hershey Park is in. It's the county that Lebanon is in. I guess it's Lebanon County, right? So that county's under the warning. It's got the considerable tag of 70 miles per hour. Farther to the south, this one includes western Lancaster County. There is no tag here. There's no destructive tag. There's no considerable tag. So what we're seeing here is essentially winds with this warning from Lancaster and Manchester south of 60 miles per hour. North of there, we start popping winds up to 70 miles per hour. All right, let's go a little bit farther out here. I'm going to try and zoom out if it lets me. It's not going to let me. There we go. There we go. All right, now you notice we have a ton of red outlines here. So let's click on this. There's the mesoscale discussion, and you can see the precautions that the Storm Prediction Center and the National Weather Service are taking here. It expires around 8:45 this evening. Severe thunderstorm watch up. Look at the winds, 65 to 80 miles per hour. Yes, honey?
I finished practicing 2 songs already.
You did?
Yes.
And you feel good about it? You got them down?
I finished Mary Had a Little Lamb and Old MacDonald.
You did Old MacDonald?
And Mary Had a Little Lamb.
I love Mary Had a Little Lamb. Okay, when I'm done, you're going to have to play it for me. Okay?
I'll have to have my mom help me practice.
Deal.
Because I'm kind of clumsy at forgetting some of them.
Okay, it's a deal. Hi, good buddy. All right, we got Murphy in the house here. Bear with me 1 second. I just want to check something out here real quick. All right. All right. All right, so am I still live here, guys? Can you guys hear me? I think I'm still live, right? Yeah. All right, so am I still live here,
okay.
guys? Can you guys hear me? So for whatever reason, I'm streaming on YouTube. I'm streaming right now on Facebook, but I'm not streaming on my SowersSkywatch.com platform. I'm going to have to figure that out. Oh, look at this down here. We suddenly have a warning popping coming out of, you know what, look at the hail too. The hail is up to 1.25 inches in diameter. You know what, let's get out of that real quick. Look at this guy that just developed down here. All right, that's coming out of right there, Slaughter Beach, Delaware. 60-mile-an-hour winds. All right, obviously this is important, right? Because there's so many folks. If you're in Cape May right now, skies are probably turning pitch black. All right, let me see. Let me see if I can get Garden State Parkway. Let me see if I can get some of the cameras up here. Bear with me for 1 second. Let's see. Okay. Hi, Paige. All right, let's see. All right. Front. All right, so right now. All right, so right now we got that one. All right, and we got a couple up there in the Poconos too. All right, so here's the line. Nasty stuff down to the south too. Look at the Baltimore area. Look at D.C. All right. Look at you go northwest of Baltimore, you start getting into some of those suburbs there, like Frederick. Actually, it looks like it's past Frederick, but nasty stuff out there too. You know what? Let me hit pause on this radar, and it looks like, what do we got here? All right. So this is, if you look towards Harrisburg, let's click on that. We got a damage report. Tree branches down on the road here. This is out towards Harrisburg, just off of the Pennsylvania Turnpike. All right, so we'll get out of that. And there's a look at the line. It's moving very, very quickly. The line is actually progressing to the east at roughly... All right, so it's moving to the east at about 30 miles per hour. This warning here, Ephrata, right? The warning that has Ephrata in it, Lancaster in it, that's up for about another, looks like another half hour or so. Wind gusts up to 70 miles per hour. That's the primary threat. Looks like we have a new warning issued here. Look at this stuff by Baltimore. Wow. All right, now you notice, again, we've got a couple of these red outlines here. Let me go to the outlooks. All right, so here's a look at what's going on here. Now, the Storm Prediction Center, they ended up, early this morning, they had the enhanced. All right, let me see if I can draw. Early this morning, if you tune into my Facebook page, they had the enhanced right about there, okay? That's about as far, and actually they cut it off right here, okay, something like that. And so later this afternoon, you can see how far north they expanded it. They expanded it all the way up to include Philadelphia. They pushed it east to include Vineland and Millville, all of Gloucester County, all of Salem County. All right, so they have taken precaution here. And you got to remember, there's going to be a lot of folks out because of the festivities going on in Center City, right? The fireworks show. There's going to be tons, thousands and thousands and tens of thousands of people out. All right, and so I think they did the right thing. They lifted this enhanced warning, or excuse me, this enhanced outlook a little bit farther to the north. And plus the computer guidance is starting to show that now too. Now there's no tornado threat here, which is good because a lot of times you start getting that enhanced threat, that enhanced risk, which is right here, all right, the orange shade, all right, right here. That's the enhanced, that's a level 3 out of 5. All right, a lot of times you start getting that and it means tornadoes. In this case, it does not mean tornadoes. What it means is damaging straight line winds. And you can see the hatched area there. That is a significant threat of seeing wind damage today. All right, some of the winds, again, could be in that 60 to 70, 70 to 80 mile per hour range. You look at the Beaufort wind scale here. Just go ahead and Google it, Beaufort wind scale. And what they've done here, over the years, the National Weather Service, and this is why they changed the tornado scale from Fujita scale to enhanced Fujita scale, the EF scale now, Because over the years, they have all these damage indicators now as technology has increased and gotten better. So now they have all these damage indicators. So they can literally tell you, just by looking at the damage, what level, tornado ripped through the area here. And, so there's all these wind indicators, damage indicators out there. And what they're saying here with this is when you start popping winds of 70 to 80 miles per hour, you're going to get trees down. You're going to get trees snapped. You're going to get power poles snapped. You're going to get power outages. You're going to get uprooted trees. You're going to get some structural damage like siding, all right, ripped off the house, or maybe some roof shingles ripped off. All right, that's the kind of stuff you're going to experience. All right, so that's what we could likely see here in this hatched area. All right, so there it is right there, okay? Now, as we go back over to the radar, you can see that's the line right there. Now, remember how these, if it stays like this, all right, you can clearly see the bowing, right? You see it right here? If this winds up merging into a line, it's always the apex, which is right here, all right? That's always where the strongest winds are, all right? So as the line pushes east like that, okay, right where the arrowhead is, that's where the strongest winds will be. And then you got to watch the ends right here and here for the possibility of rotation, okay? That's what you tend to get with these bowing features, all right? And right now, the current bowing feature is out there towards Lancaster, and it's moving east at about 30 miles per hour. Now, I know the Washington Township Parade is not going off today, and a lot of the parades got canceled because of the tremendous heat. Again, we had heat index numbers way over 110 today again. Third day in a row where we've had to deal with that. So now, we've got some fireworks shows, and some of them, like in Collingswood and other places, have gone ahead and canceled the fireworks shows already. But what I think is going to end up happening here is I think this line is actually, let's just say a lot of these shows go off by, 9 o'clock or so. I think a lot of these storms are going to be through, at least the I-95 corridor. I think they're going to be through by then. At worst, maybe you're, in my opinion, and we'll see ultimately how all this evolves, how all this plays out. I mean, my gosh, just an hour ago, we didn't have anything even on the radar. Now look at all the warnings. So we'll see how this all evolves, how it all plays out. But, my gut is telling me after looking at some of the modeling here and looking at the upper level piece of energy swinging through that, maybe if your fireworks show starts at 9, maybe you're going to end up delaying it a half hour at most, all right? And then this thing is going to be on the coast. And honestly, in terms of thunderstorms ruining your fireworks shows, I think the best chances of that happening are in New Jersey, especially the farther east you go, closer to the coastline, okay? So, that's what we're watching right here. As you can see right now, the entire line is warned, okay? Remember, severe thunderstorm warnings act a little differently than tornado warnings. Severe thunderstorm warnings, look, you don't got to be to the basement. You don't got to be in the center part of your house. That's all tornado stuff. But what you do need to do is be inside. Okay, you have to be inside, stay away from windows, and it's because what I just mentioned, all right, earlier, all right, think about how fast, how strong a 70 to 80 mile an hour wind gust is, all right, think about that. And, all right, think about all the loose objects you have out there. 70 and 80 mile an hour wind gust is going to pick things up like they're toys and toss them all over the place. So if you're near a window and it tosses something at the window and the window shatters, you're getting cut all up. All right, so that's why we tell everybody just stay away from windows in severe thunderstorm warnings, stay off of electrical appliances, and really that's it. All right, that's all the precaution that you have to take in a severe thunderstorm warning. Now, we flip it over to a tornado warning, and that changes the game. All right, that changes things up dramatically. Then you do have to go to the basement or the center part of your house. Then you do have to bring along, and honestly, it might not be a bad idea to do this. Only you know where your safe place is, right? Your safe place should be an interior room if you don't have a basement. Lowest floors, indoors, lowest floors, okay? That's the little saying, if you will, that you need to remember. And you need a safe room, okay? So a safe room can be an interior closet. It can be an interior hall. It can be an interior bathroom. But basically the idea here in a tornado warning is to keep yourself away from outside walls. Right? You put yourself in between you and as many walls as possible. There is actually a line. Have you ever seen the movie Twister? With Paxton and Helen Hunt. There's a line in that movie where they'll tell you that. They'll say, where you need to go is the basement or the center part of your house. Put as many walls in between you and the outside as possible. That is 100% correct. All right, that's exactly what you have to do. Okay, what I tell everybody too in a tornado warning, make sure that you are streaming. Okay, so in this case, I'm streaming live on Facebook, so you can just keep it right here on my Facebook page, and I'm going to give you guys the all clear when it's time to come back up. But, as far as everything else is concerned, hold on one second, okay? I apologize. I'm getting a text message here from my guys in Tennessee. They're the ones that are doing the streaming. So just bear with me one second. I need to see, making sure everything's okay. Okay. All right. So sorry about that. Where was I? So again, the warnings act a little bit differently. Also, what was interesting here, and again, when we start popping warnings, I mean, obviously we've got them, right in front of us here. So you're going to be able to see the counties highlighted. If they're highlighted in yellow, it's a severe thunderstorm warning. If they're highlighted in red, which we do not have, then it's a tornado warning. All right. Looks like Cape May Point is now under the severe thunderstorm warning, by the way, if you're listening to me. You got a couple cells here. One, the storm that is warned is just moving away from Slaughter Beach, and actually it looks like it's moving right over the mouth of the Delaware Bay. There's another cell just south of Cape May Point. That one is not warned, but it's got a pretty good downpour in it. So the sky to your south is probably turning pitch black down there. Wildwood, same thing. If you're looking off to the southwest, it's probably pitch black just over the horizon. Same thing with Stone Harbor and Avalon. All right, back to the line up here to the north. Let's go back over to what the Storm Prediction Center has done here. Do you see the red outline? You see this red outline here? What they are saying here, this is a mesoscale discussion. All right, it looks like they're still up on this 65. Actually, they've increased it. Earlier, it was 60 to 80. Now that's 65 to 80 miles per hour. That's a look at the wind gusts that they're potentially looking at down the road here. And also look at the hail. Now, in order to be labeled severe, hail must be 1 inch or more in diameter. This is 1.25 inches. Let me see what 1.25 inches hail is. All right. 1.25 inches. Let's see. Hail chart. All right. What is that? Whoop. All right, 1 inch in diameter is the size of a quarter. 1.5 inches is ping pong ball size. So we're getting awful close to ping pong ball size hail in this mesoscale discussion. All right, there's a look at the severe thunderstorm watch. All right, and you can see this. Now the watch is up for everybody from Washington, D.C. and Richmond all the way up into Baltimore, Philadelphia, the New York City metro area, Allentown, Reading, Lancaster, all of South Jersey, the coastal plain here, Harrisburg's included too. So within this watch area, National Weather Service has it up until 11 o'clock. They're saying the tornado threat is low, which is good. EF2 or greater, these are the stronger tornadoes, low, all right? 60-mile-an-hour winds, it's very, very high. You can see the percentages, 70%. Look at the 75-plus mile-per-hour wind range, 30%. All right, that's moderate. That's actually pretty. I know the 30% doesn't sound too terribly impressive, right? When you think of an overall scale of 0 to 100. But for winds, that's very impressive, right? That's a moderate threat there. Hail 1 inch in diameter or more is low, but we're seeing it already. And 2 inches in diameter or more also is low, but we're seeing it already. All right, so here's a look at the thunderstorms. Look at the temperatures. All right, let's go over to the observations. Look at the that's there we go, surface. I was going to say, what did I do here? All right, there's a look at the temperatures. Look at that. I mean, it is still blazing hot out there. Whew. Let's go over to the heat index. Another wonderful day. You know, it was funny, too, because when I recorded, if you guys go on to SowersSkywatch.com and you're on my Facebook now, I do two. I don't know if you guys know, I do 2 dungeon segments. All right, one is at 7 o'clock in the morning. One is at 7:30 in the evening. I started doing that a few days ago. I liked it. Big audience in the morning as people were getting ready for work, so I think I'm going to continue doing that. When I recorded it this morning, and when I went live on it too, it actually felt okay. We had a huge downpour here, and it dropped the humidity down. We only had dew points in the low 60s, believe it or not. Excuse me, whoa. I'm getting carried away. Low 70s. That's what I meant. Low 70s, and temperatures were also in the low 70s. So it felt a gazillion times better than it had in recent days, okay? Well, now, all of a sudden, the temperatures have skyrocketed up over the century mark again. Thankfully, the dew points are not as oppressive as they were yesterday, but still high enough to where we're getting these heat index numbers, even at this hour, still over 104, 105 in parts of South Jersey. All right, so it is very uncomfortable. We still have another few hours to go here where you got to just kind of listen to your body, stay hydrated, take your breaks, blah, blah, blah. We talk about this all the time. But what's going to end up happening here is we flip it back over to the radar. All right, this line, this is the game changer here. This is going to put an end to the oppressive heat and humidity. Tomorrow's still going to be hot. You're still probably topping out around 90 degrees in Philadelphia, but the humidity backs off. All right, and 90 degrees is a whole heck of a lot better than 105, right? So it's going to be hot again tomorrow, but it's more manageable. And then we get into Monday and Tuesday, and Mother Nature finally takes her foot off the gas here with highs only in the upper 70s to right around 80 degrees. You get a lot of clouds. Humidity drops a little bit. It's going to feel a lot better by the beginning of the week. All right, right now, we're still kind of looking at this here. It's just the warnings that you see. All the counties, you know what? Let's go down here to Cape May. All right, because this is the one that I'm starting to get pretty concerned about because there's going to be everybody out. All right, there's Wildwood right there. All right, so it's this cell right here. This is the one coming out of Slaughter Beach right here that I'm circling. That's the one that's warned, okay? And let's see why they are warning it. All right, if you're just now tuning in, it's for 60-mile-an-hour winds. There's no tag on this. There's no considerable tag. There's no destructive tag. This is just a heavy thunderstorm capable of producing winds of 60 miles per hour, which would label it as severe. Remember, for a severe thunderstorm, you need one of three things. You either need winds of 58 miles per hour or greater, you need hail an inch in diameter or greater, or a tornado. All right, a thunderstorm producing a tornado. If any one of three of those criteria are met, then the storm is labeled severe. All right, so this is just an ordinary severe thunderstorm with no tag on it. All right, it is moving off to the northeast at about 30 miles per hour though, okay? So again, if you're out there in Cape May, if you're here in the Wildwoods, the Villas is down there, North Cape May, you're going to get this little cell here. You see it right there? You're going to get this guy coming in first. This is just a quick hitting downpour. It's not going to last long. This one here by Slaughter Beach, that's the one that is warned, okay? As we set it in motion for you, there you go. So there's the first one. The second one is actually not moving all that fast. All right, it does look like it's moving over the open waters of the Delaware Bay, and you're getting a lot of lightning strikes, all right, with the first one. Not so much on the second one, though. All right, it's interesting starting to see that purple pop there, though. It would suggest that maybe we're starting to see some hail being reported with that one. All right, let me go back over real quick and see if we have... All right, that's really it. All right, let's see. Get out of this real quick. All right, so we go a little bit farther to the north. Now, again, in this area here, if you're down here, all right, if you're down here, anywhere down the Jersey Shore, oh, that's a terrible circle. I don't have a mouse. All right, if you're anywhere down there, if you're anywhere down here, all right, let's say the fireworks shows go off at 9. I think you guys run the biggest risks or biggest threat of having your fireworks shows either severely delayed or postponed, okay? The timing on this, you know, given where the storms are right now and how quickly they're moving, there they are right there. All right, let's say again the fireworks shows go off at 9. They would probably be, given where they are right now, they would probably be just east of Philadelphia by 9. I would think just east, okay? So, but this stuff, that's this line here, but do you see this stuff here? That's the stuff that might come in a little bit, whoop. That stuff down there towards Baltimore and D.C., that's the stuff that might come in a little bit sooner. All right, up here to the north. Let's go up here to the north. Boy, it looks like we've got our hands full up here too. Look at all these thunderstorms. Let's see if we have any more considerable tags. No, not on that one. And not on that one. All right, that's good. All right, how about these up here? Nope, that's just a regular thunderstorm too. And this one here, also just a regular thunderstorm. All right, good. That's good. Now, we do have some special weather statements that are issued though. pretty big rainfall rates with some of these too. You know, I failed to mention that up to this point here. Some of the rainfall rates are approaching 2 inches an hour. That's a blinding downpour that you're picking up. Let's go back over to the observations here. There's a look at the wind gusts. Let's see if I can drop down. I'd like to let's see what the visibility is. For some reason, I'm not able to, you know what, let's do this. Not sure why that's not working there. And I wanted to try and get, looks like we finally dropped to 99. I wanted to try and get the Futurecast, as you know, that Futurecast product that shows where the thunderstorm's going to be a couple hours down the road and so on and so forth. For some reason, I can't get that to work. Here's a look at the satellite. You can clearly see, all right, we've got clear skies over Philadelphia for the most part, but you can see the towering cloud tops off to the west, all right? And look at the temperatures here, all right? You can clearly see the rain-cooled air. That's the relief, all right? That's what we desperately need. We go from 99 degrees right now in Cherry Hill to 77 just south of Harrisburg. Harrisburg is sitting at 75. All right, that's more than 20 degrees cooler. All right, so that's the good thing about these thunderstorms this time of the year. They will significantly cool you down. And again, this is the beginning of the end of this oppressive heat wave. For the first time in recorded history, we have 3 straight days in Philadelphia of 101 or higher. For the third time in recorded history, we have 3 days in a row of Philly reaching at least 100 degrees or higher. And so it's pretty rare territory that we have going on here right now. Also, again, if you haven't already seen this yet, here's the categorical. We are in rare territory as far as the severe threat is concerned too, because the Storm Prediction Center popped an enhanced risk, a level 3 out of 5. That does not happen very often here in the Philadelphia area. This kind of thing happens all the time in places like the heartland of the nation, the Ohio Valley, the Mississippi River Valley, the High Plains, on that dry line out there towards the Colorado Rockies. You tend to get enhanced risks a lot out there, but you don't get enhanced risks very often here in the Philadelphia area. So this is rare. This is very rare territory. Again, no tornado threat. There's a tornado threat right there. The hail threat is also fairly low in the Philadelphia area, but it is a little enhanced up here to the north in the Wilkes-Barre-Scranton area in the northern Poconos, and then from Washington, D.C., points south. The main concern here is going to be strong straight-line winds, damaging straight-line winds in this hatched area right there. All right, again, I'm going to try and get over to the model and see. There's precip. Let's see if I can get it here. Maybe this will work. It did. Bang, finally. Okay, so let's set this in motion for you. All right, and so you can see, it doesn't, obviously this model here is not doing very well. So let's go over to there we go. Let's see what this one wants to do. All right, there it is. All right, this one lines up a little bit better. It's still not perfect. There's what it has. Oh, actually, that looks a lot better. That's what the model has by 7. Okay? So as we fast forward this, there's 8. There's 9 right there. Okay? So again, let's say you have the fireworks show in the Washington Township area. And I'm just using that as an example because that's closest to me. All right? Let's say you have the fireworks show in Washington Township. You may have to delay it. A half hour, okay? And then the thunderstorms kind of lift farther to the north, all right? Then, as we get into Sunday, notice Sunday starts out just like today, but then during the late afternoon, early evening hours, we've got more heavy weather pushing through. And this time it looks like everybody gets in on the act. See this? Okay. So, it's going to get pretty active. It's definitely going to get pretty active here. All right, let's see. Let's zoom on in. There's a look at the warnings right there. Again, not really anticipating tornado warnings tonight. All right, this for the most part. I mean, you can never say never, right? I've seen events where you get no rotation at all, and then bam, all of a sudden you get a tornado warning because of little eddies that form from straight line winds blasting an area. All right, so it is possible, but really the threat for this evening is going to end up being strong straight line winds. Everything that you see in front of you right now is a strong straight line wind producing thunderstorm. All right, you can see these warnings were just issued here, so let's click on them. All right, this is for winds up to 60 miles per hour. That's good. It's radar indicated here. Looks like 744 severe thunderstorm was located over Lee Cocker near Lancaster, moving east at 30. All right, the hazard is for 60-mile-an-hour winds and penny-sized hail. All right, damage to roofs, sidings, trees, power lines are possible. And then it suggests some of the locations that are going to be in the path of this, which include Reading, Westchester, Pottstown, Coatesville, Wyomissing, Downingtown, Kennett Square, Land of the Mushroom, Birdsboro, Sinking Spring, Parkersburg, West Grove. I don't know how to pronounce some of these. Honeybrook, Elverson, New Morgan, Pewtown, and Marshallton. Looks like Wilmsdorf, Wernersville, and Robesonia. I believe they are also included in that. All right, so that is this guy right here. All right, all those areas are thanks to that cell right there that I just mentioned. All right, this is the probably the worst part of it right here. You see that purple shade? If you look right here, look to the far right. You see the thing I'm circling right there, far right. All right, you see that? That's measuring DBZ, all right, or radar returns. You start getting that color, and that color usually represents hail. All right, so that's what we're likely seeing here. We're likely seeing some hail just east of Lancaster. Again, it's all moving east right now, the whole line at about 30 miles per hour. Right now, Philadelphia, if you're out and about close to the city, there is no warning right now up for the city. We do have a severe thunderstorm watch up until 11 p.m. though. And you'll notice as the evening wears on, you're going to start to see the National Weather Service chip away at this thing, the watch from west to east, just like they normally do. All right, that's usually what they do. That's likely what they're going to do again this time around too. Let's see. Whoop. I'm going to tell you what, guys, I'm going to stay on with me. Again, I'll have you covered all evening. Stay on with me real quick. I got to get some water here. I'll be right back. I'm going to let the radar loop for you. Again, if you start to see colors pop up, those bright yellows, that is severe thunderstorm warnings. If you see a red polygon pop up, that is a tornado warning. You know what to do, right? In a tornado warning. Basement, center part of your house. Keep watching me on Facebook. I'll give you the okay to come up. All right? You get there quickly but calmly. All right? I'm not expecting tornadoes, but that's what you do if you suddenly see a red polygon pop. These bright yellows, those are severe thunderstorm warnings. You get inside and you stay away from windows and off of electrical appliances. Guys, I'll be right back, okay? All right, I am back. Come on in, buddy. All right, looks like this is really the radar camera split. This is really what's going on right now. Okay, we just got this beefy line of thunderstorms. I'm really hoping this thing peters out here. I'd like to see. Nobody obviously wants to see strong, damaging winds, but me personally, I'd like to see, because so many parades were canceled today. I'd like to, at the very least, see some of the fireworks shows go off. So I'm hoping that this line peters out, and maybe we just get some rain, and the rain, maybe it delays things for a little bit, and then you get the fireworks shows going on. That's what I'm hoping. All right, remember, we have this line here, also from our friends down at the Jersey Shore. If you're just now tuning in, and we have a lot of people on, this is really nice to see. We have this warning here by Cape May, all right? Now, it does include Cape May Point. It includes North Cape May, West Cape May, where the Cape May Lewis Ferry takes off. That area is under the warning all the way down to Slaughter Beach, Delaware, okay? That is for this cell right here. I'm going to zoom in, which is weakening dramatically. As a matter of fact, I'm surprised. Looking at that right now, I'm actually really surprised that that warning is still in effect, because that does not look like much to me at all. It looks like just a downpour. All right, but you are technically, let's say from the villas south to Cape May Point, you are technically in this severe thunderstorm warning here. All right, so remember the drill. If you're in a severe thunderstorm warning, get inside, stay away from windows. But again, I have to tell you, this storm is not impressing me at all. And it wouldn't surprise me at all if they discontinue this warning probably in the next 10 minutes or so, or maybe sooner than that. All right, also, if you're just now tuning in, here's the mesoscale discussion that was issued by the Storm Prediction Center. This is what we have to worry about. You got a tremendous amount of heating right now, all right? We talked about this over the last couple of days. When you have heat index numbers between 105 and 115, and in some cases they were 120. We had some areas up to 120. When you've got that much heating going on, that much heat, that much humidity, and then you start putting these upper level disturbances swinging through from west to east, you get all of this, right? And that's the recipe. That's all you need, all right? High dew points, instability, upper level disturbance that produces the ascent. Bam, that's all you need, and you got the ingredients for severe weather. Well, it just so happens in this case that they are very concerned about winds potentially up to 80 miles per hour. That has been the main threat. And we're going to do this all over again tomorrow too. Very, very similar. We had destructive tags on some of the thunderstorm warnings in northern New Jersey, especially through Somerset County up there. It looked like they kind of weakened as they approached New York City. I mean, look, New York City still got hit and hit pretty good, but they did weaken as they approached New York City. But there were several thunderstorm warnings up there with destructive tags for winds up to 80 miles per hour. All right. Also, I haven't really gone over this yet either, so let's take a second to talk about this. Now, normally in a tornado warning, if you're in a mobile home, you got to get out, okay? You can't be in a mobile home during a tornado warning because a mobile home just isn't anchored to the ground, right? It's on a concrete slab. So you got to get out. You got to move, get in your car, move to a sturdy structure, whether or not that's a gas station, a Walmart, a Wawa, something, okay? That's what you got to do in a tornado warning if you're in a mobile home. Severe thunderstorm warnings, you really don't have to do that. But in this situation, it might not be a bad idea. If you are in a mobile home and we start seeing these thunderstorm warnings issued and they have destructive tags to them for winds up to 80, I would highly recommend getting out of your mobile home, get in your car, and drive to a Walmart or a Dollar Tree or a Wawa. Because, geez, I'm just realizing there's going to be a lot of stores today that are closed because it's the 4th of July. I do believe Walmarts are open, and I know Wawas are open. So something like that, something sturdy that kind of anchors you down, because an 80-mile-an-hour wind is gonna push a mobile home right off that block. All right, there it is, beefy line, and it does appear. Let's go over to the velocity. It does. Everything looks good. Wow, there's a couple things here. All right, notice this right here. Ready? I want you guys to... All right, notice this. All right, first look in that area there, and then notice this line right here. All right, those are the two areas that I want you to look at. All right, so first up, let's focus in up there to the top of the screen. All right, it does appear as if you're trying to get a little rotation there. It is, if it's not a lot, okay? It's not a lot. And if there is rotation, it is very, very broad, okay? But this is a perfect example. If you've been on here for a while, this is a perfect example of how you can get a tornado warning in a straight line wind event. Because sometimes, think about, we used this example yesterday. Think about when you have a pitcher of water, all right, and you pour it out on the concrete. All right, what happens? It hits the concrete with so much force, right? It goes out in all directions. So as it goes out, all right, as the water would hit the concrete and it goes out and up. And little eddies can form. And that's exactly how you can get rotation in a straight line wind event. And that's what you might be seeing up there to the north, just east of Lancaster. Again, there's no reason to be concerned about a tornado up there right now, but you can kind of see the modeling trying to hint towards a little bit of rotation there. All right, to the east we go, north of Atlantic City. This line here was very interesting. You saw that moving, right? I don't know if that's a sea breeze. I don't think it is, because you can clearly see we're still at 93 degrees in Atlantic City and 90 in Vineland. So, I mean, maybe we've cooled down a little bit here, but, you know, a sea breeze should take you a lot lower than that. But as we set it in motion, again, look, you see that right there? See that little boundary right there? You got to watch these things because they can produce more thunderstorms too. So you got the main batch out here by Lancaster, and then you might end up having heavy thunderstorms develop here too, all because of this little line that's sweeping through. What happens is those boundaries, they undercut the warm, soupy air. They force it to rise, and you can get thunderstorms developing on the front end of that. So we're going to have to watch, all right? Central Burlington County, we're going to have to watch that over the next hour. Places like Chemung on 206 North into Pemberton. Just kind of keep watching the radar here. That boundary has me a little concerned. We'll see whether or not it develops. All right, let's go back over to the radar, and then we'll put it in reflectivity mode. All right, so that's what the radar looks like. You notice, all right, it looked a lot healthier about an hour ago. See that out by York? You had a lot of purples. Notice they are vanishing. All right, that's good, except for down here. All right, down here in the Baltimore area, that's still violent looking, pushing over the Chesapeake onto the eastern shores of Maryland. Looks like Chestertown's getting blasted, and same thing with Annapolis. All right, so again, this is the part of the line. This up here, all right, this stuff here around Lancaster, that should pass Philly to the north. Oop, let me go back up. Let me go back out. All right, it's this stuff here that I'm a little concerned about, because that's going to do this, all right, beeline towards interior South Jersey in the I-95 corridor, all right? Getting closer now. Fireworks shows, most towns are about an hour away, all right? And again, I think what's going to happen here is if you live in the I-95 corridor, interior South Jersey or the Jersey Shore, there is the possibility that this delays you guys maybe for a half hour or maybe even a full hour. But I think you will be able to get it in. I mean, places like Lancaster, if your shows, Berks County, Chester County, if your fireworks shows are at 9 and they haven't been canceled yet, you guys are in great shape. Yes, it's pouring right now, but by 9 o'clock, those storms should be well off to the east, okay? All right, up to this point, all right, so up to this point, that I don't see that this is, this is fine. What we're seeing right now, I'm not seeing any flash flood warnings. We're not seeing any tornado warnings. We are seeing severe thunderstorm warnings, but we're not seeing any tags attached to them. No destructive tags, all right? No considerable tags. This is fine. This is just a broken line of thunderstorms pushing through. If this is all we get, this is exactly what we want, all right? In an environment as hostile as what we're experiencing today, if this is all we get, thank goodness, okay? And look at that cell. And just like that, guys, they have discontinued the severe thunderstorm warning that was in effect for the Villas as well as Cape May. See it down here? Notice the warning disappeared. All right, that thunderstorm is all but gone. All right. All right, let's see. All right, so now all eyes are on this thing right here. All right, they're on this. And they're on this. And this actually, the thing that I like most about this thing here in Lancaster, all right, there's no real structure to this. There's no bowing segment here. It's not a linear segment. There's clearly no hook, so there's no rotation. It looks like it's just a big fat blob of red. Just a little bit of heavy rain. That's all it looks like it is at this point, which is good. This had down here, this had a little more structure to it, but even this just looks like a big blob with a lot of lightning. All right, so what the lightning, we've talked about this before too. What the lightning indicates is a strengthening storm. All right, so that's what I would again, where I'm worried about is these storms down here to the south around Baltimore and D.C. All right, what I'm going to do here is I'm going to take a moment and try to answer some of these questions because there's not a lot going on right now. So let me take a look at the comments and let's see if I can answer a couple of these. Phoenixville wasn't mentioned for storm time. Norristown was mentioned, guessing it's above. So here's the thing. Nancy is asking that. Nancy, I can't mention, there's a million towns in this viewing area. I can't mention every single one. So if I mention one that's really, really close to you, just assume, okay, that it's, pretty much the same time for you too. So, I mean, honestly, in the Phoenixville, Norristown area, I would say probably within the next 45 minutes you're getting wet, okay? Let's see. What else do we got? What's it looking like for Washington Township's fireworks at 9? Eileen, here's what I think is going to happen. I think it's going to be delayed. All right, I think you're going to get it in, but I think it's going to end up being delayed. Okay, we'll see. Maybe it's delayed a half hour, maybe it's delayed a full hour. I think it'll be delayed, but I think they'll get it in. I know the firework boxes are loaded; they're ready to go. This is just all going to be weather dependent right now. When are you going to actually discuss Philadelphia weather? Jamie, I've got, 20 counties that I'm focused on here, not just Philadelphia. And for Philadelphia itself, again, the county is right here, all right? And I would say, it's 8 o'clock right now. I would say it's raining by 9, okay? And we'll have to watch now what the Weather Service is doing, and they're going to continue to do this, okay? They will probably push these warnings as far east as they can possibly go because there's so many people in Philadelphia. You had the soccer game today. You had everybody for the festivities going on right now. The fireworks show later to come. The concert series. Everything is taking place right now in Philadelphia. So what they're going to do is, I guarantee you, they will try to extend this yellow as far in advance as they can to give folks the heads up from this storm right here. But right now, that storm is behaving itself. It does not look, it's a heavy rain event. There's going to be some wind with it, but it does not look nearly as menacing as it did probably about an hour ago as it was coming out of York and Harrisburg and Interstate 83. Let's see. Brooklawn, same thing. Again, if you hear me mention a town that's close to yours, just assume it's the same thing for your town too. Brooklawn is very close to Philadelphia, so by 9 you're raining. Elk Township, I would say about 9:30 in Elk Township, okay? Given where these storms are right now, they're not moving as quickly as they were yesterday. Yesterday, these storms were zipping at about 50, 55 miles per hour. Anything good for Barnegat, Michael's asking? Yes, but it's going to be much later. Probably around, it's 8 o'clock now. I would say probably by 11 down there. Crazy storm up there in Bergen County, Mary is saying. Yeah, you guys, let me go up to Bergen. Well, you guys got blasted up there yesterday, too. It's just not been a nice stretch. Oh, yeah, look at this guy right here. Let's see what the tag is on this one. All right, winds up to 60. All right, now here, All right, you see this right here? This is what we're in. This is what I want everybody to watch out for later. Do you see this? You see the destructive tag? Now, just to give you an example of where we are, okay? We're crossing over the state line into Connecticut, okay? We're nowhere near the Philadelphia area, but the reason why I'm zooming into this is because I want you to see this. You see the destructive tag, 80-mile-an-hour winds and a tornado possible with this. So we saw this in northern New Jersey yesterday. Again, there's just so much energy with this. We had decade values up to 1,700. I know you don't know what that means, but that's kind of a way we measure the winds. And that all you need is about 1,000 for severe. All right, and we're about double that, or darn near double that. I mean, so there's just a lot of wind energy with this. And so when you get these thunderstorms, the winds are going to be anywhere from 65 to 80 miles per hour. When they approach 70 miles per hour, the Weather Service starts giving them considerable tags. All right, when they have 80 miles per hour or higher, like they do right now, all right, notice the destructive tag right here. All right, see where it says damage, threat, destructive? All right, right there. That's what you're going to start seeing. All right, thankfully, that is way out of our viewing area. For us, all we're seeing, just normal thunderstorms, maybe 60 mile per hour winds. That's it. And even down here towards Chestertown, 60 mile an hour. Here, which includes Cecil County, 60 mile an hour. All right, so that's what we're facing with. It is a much weaker situation here than what they're seeing to the north again. All right, if you're just now tuning in, again, severe thunderstorm warning for western Cape May, including Cape May Point up to the Villas, has been canceled. That storm completely vanished. We still have the mesoscale discussion that they're watching for 65 to 80 mile an hour winds. We still have the severe thunderstorm watch up until 11 o'clock for the entire viewing area with the 60-plus mile per hour wind gusts at a high probability. All right, that's what we're watching right now. This line of thunderstorms out here to the west is really starting to lose its shape, lose its form, which suggests weakening to me. So I am very concerned right here with this stuff coming out of Baltimore right now. That's what I think we're going to have to watch over the next hour. All right, I can try to put this fan on. Let's see if I can. All right, I have to remember how to do this. All right. All right, so the next 15 minutes, there's a look at the communities right there. All right, the time is wrong on that, so let's get that off. There's a look at the temperatures. Really hot stuff out there. There's a look at the outlooks. Again, and it just so happens, so remember, we've got two lines that we're watching here right now. We have one out here, and then the one that I'm really concerned about is right here. And that's the one that's in the hatched area, okay? This is the area here, the hatched purple, where the Storm Prediction Center is really, really concerned about 80 mile an hour straight line winds. And that happens to be that line of storms that I'm concerned about most. There it is right there. So it does look like this stuff here around Reading is really starting to peter out nicely. Yeah, see this right here? A lot of lightning down here too. So that, we talked about this before. Again, the lack of lightning strikes up here, east of Lancaster, south of Reading, indicates to me that it's weakening. All right, and you can clearly see that if you go back an hour on the loop. But look at all these lightning strikes down here. You see this? See that down there? Let's see if we can see all the lightning down there. It's a ton. There it goes, right there. All right, so Middletown, Smyrna, Wilmington, probably in the next hour. You guys are on deck. All right. All right, I'm gonna take a quick break here. I'm just kind of sitting here and I'm going over I'm reading what I'm doing here while you guys are watching the radar. I'm reading some of the stuff down here that the National Weather Service has put out. So bear with me 1 second. I just want to kind of get a better idea on what they're saying here. All right, it's this one out here north of Aberdeen that they're most concerned about. Makes sense because that's the one that has the brightest purples here. Let me stop the loop. So just to kind of give you an idea of what I'm talking about, it's this cell right here. All right, that's the one that they're most concerned about. They've actually put a tag on this one. It's not considerable, it's not destructive, but what they're saying here is damaging winds will cause trees and large branches to fall. They're worried about people being injured outside. Damage to homes, damage to vehicles. They're talking about roads maybe becoming passable, blocked because of downed trees, and localized power outages possible. They're suggesting some pretty big winds here just north of Aberdeen. All right. And that is, again, moving northeast just like this. All right, so let's see. It would be somewhere here in the Newark vicinity in an hour. Okay? Wilmington, same thing, maybe an hour. There's a look at the movement there. You got another one right here towards Chestertown. All right, and that cell is also pretty beefy looking. That warning is not as bad though, which is good. All right, I'm gonna try and answer some more questions here while we're just watching, because right now we're just kind of in wait and see mode. All right, there's really, we're just gonna watch this as it approaches. I'm honestly surprised they haven't extended this severe thunderstorm warning west of Philadelphia. I really am, given how many people are out in Center City right now. But we'll see. They probably will. Maybe they just haven't gotten around to it yet. Let's see. Let's see. Let's see. I don't have too many questions, which is good. Hopefully you guys are understanding. I try my best, as you guys are watching, I try my best to answer as many questions as I possibly can. And, I'll be honest with you right now, I can't really, I've got a couple of you asking for a storm track, and I can't do the storm track right now because, I could, but it just doesn't, I can't get it to work the way that I want it to work. Okay? It just doesn't, this is it's kind of an app, and it's new. I can't get it to look the way that I need it to look. So I'm just gonna need a little more time practicing on it and getting it the way that I need. And the last thing in the world that I want is to get this to the situation where it just shows something ridiculous and I can't even get it removed from the screen. So that's why I'm going through the National Weather Service warnings, the write-ups, and reading how quickly these storms are moving. And most of them appear to be moving at 30 miles per hour. So what's interesting here hi baby, come here. So what's interesting here is, it's 8:20 right now. Maybe what you end up seeing here is, the fireworks show going off. They're going to I'll tell you what, they're going to have to put it right at 9 though. Maybe we get lucky here and it goes off at 9, right? The fireworks show. And what you might end up seeing is the thunderstorm in the distance. You might see the lightning strikes and everything in the distance while the fireworks are going off. You might have them both going off at the same time, which that would actually be kind of neat. I don't know if I've ever seen that before. Same thing like with the Washington Township show. You might actually it's still a lot farther to the west than I thought. You might actually be able to get the show in and just have the thunderstorm out in the distance. Right now, I like the way this is looking, though. I do not see any destructive tags. All right, I like the way this is looking. As long as we don't see any red polygons pop up, which would indicate the tornado warnings, and as long as we don't see considerable destructive tags on these storms, we're fine. These are just going to end up being drenching downpours. Storm Prediction Center had also come out with a flash flood. Actually, you know what? Let me read that to you too. That was another thing that I wanted to talk about. They were worried about. Think about how high the dew points have been, right, over the last couple of days. So they had they had come out with a flash flood discussion earlier today. And there it is right there. It's the entire area. Pockets of heavy rain. Isolated thunderstorms are expected and will be flash flood producers for mainly urban areas, low-lying areas, and other sensitive areas like smaller creeks and streams. Some concern for the I-95 corridor from D.C. to New York City today, particularly across northern New Jersey where guidance is a bit more bullish. And they've issued a level 1, a flash flood level 1 for our neck of the woods. So, given what I'm seeing here, now the storms, again, they're not moving as quickly as they were yesterday. So that would signify that these storms they're going to end up producing heavier rains a little bit longer. But what I'm not seeing, which is good, I'm not seeing that training effect, okay? So as long as I'm not seeing the training effect, I don't think we're going to have to worry too much about flash flooding. Hopefully that's the case. Looks like we do have a damage report here. Huge tree limb down along Buena Vista, damaging a steel fence and knocking some wires down from a power pole. Photographs. This is Jaden Meyer, who sent this report in around 8:15. He is in, let's see where he's located. He was located, come on. He's east of Paradise. He's near a town called Gap, and he's north of Ackland, near Amish Road, north of Route 30, U.S. Highway 30. All right, so again, this is what he's saying. Huge tree limbs are down along Buena Vista, damaging a steel fence and knocking some wires down from a power pole. All right, so, that's some pretty good winds. Notice again, there's not a lot of lightning strikes here. And then you go down here and see them all. So these storms are still in the, looks like they've popped the warnings finally for Newcastle and Kent counties now. Let's see what time these are up until. These severe thunderstorm warnings for southern Newcastle and just about all of Kent County are in effect until 9 o'clock. And again, there's no tag on these. All we're seeing is a regular thunderstorm warning issued for the potential of winds up to 60 miles per hour and 3/4 of an inch in diameter hail. Okay? That's a normal thunderstorm. Let's see what this is here. Special marine warning issued for the Delaware Bay and the mouth of the Delaware River. All right, and they're talking about this line of thunderstorms approaching from the southwest. So this is mainly for the mariners. All right, wind gusts to 40 knots and small hail. Small craft could be damaged and briefly higher winds and sudden higher seas. All right, 14-foot bank light is a location that could be getting hit. Bowers Beach, Stony Point, Ship Bottom, Ship John Shoal, Brandywine Shoal Light, Reedy Point, Fortescue Beach, Seabreeze, Peep Hatch Island, and Cross Ledge Light. All right, those are the areas down there. That's the special marine warning. All right. All right, Lower Marion Township fireworks are canceled, Herschel says. It's going to be a really, really close call. Really close call. I mean, it's 8:30 right now. It's still pretty bright, though. Jeez. Cora says, how high in Felton, Delaware is the tornado threat today? They're pretty much, the tornado threat is very, very low. Okay? That's the good news. This is all straight line winds today. All right? So it's very, very low, the tornado threat. But it doesn't mean you can't get one. All right? We always say, you can never say never when it comes to these tornadoes in situations like this. And that's simply because of what I explained earlier about the little eddies that tend to pop when you start getting these big downburst winds. All right, you can sometimes get a quick spin up. Maybe it only lasts 5 minutes or so, and maybe it only has winds of 70 miles per hour, 80 miles per hour. But you got to watch these little eddy tornadoes that can develop off of very strong, damaging straight line winds. But 90% of the time, when you're in a situation like this, it's just a straight line wind event. And it looks like they have issued a new mesoscale discussion. All right, this one does include interior South Jersey and the Jersey Shore, winds between 55 and 70 miles per hour. All right, now a 70-mile-an-hour wind would put the considerable tag on it. All right, so we'll have to watch this line right now. And again, I think they're more concerned about this down here towards Baltimore than they are this just west of Philadelphia. All right, this, as I mentioned earlier, right here, this is what we got to watch. That right there. That is still a very healthy line of thunderstorms. This up here, there's no structure to it. It's just like a blob. It looks like it's honestly just a blob of heavy rain. This right here could pose some problems. And there they go. They finally expanded the severe thunderstorm warning. This is now up for Philadelphia County. Severe thunderstorm warning up until 9:30. It's radar indicated 60-mile-an-hour winds and 3/4 of an inch in diameter hail. All right, let's read the statement here by the National Weather Service at 8:24. Severe thunderstorms were located along a line extending from near Fleetwood to Cedarville to near Downingtown to Homeville, moving east at 40 miles per hour, starting to pick up some speed. The hazard, remember there's 3 hazards: straight line winds, hail, and tornadoes. The hazard is for 60-mile-an-hour wind gusts and penny-sized hail. Let's see. Impact, damage to roofs, siding, trees, and power lines. Locations in the path of this: Philadelphia, Camden, Westchester, Bensalem, Norristown, Chester, Pottstown, Phoenixville, West Norriston, East Norriton, Coatesville, Westtown, Quakertown, Percy, Doylestown, Byram, Downingtown, and Conshohocken. All right, if you live near any one of those locations that I just mentioned, you're going to have a pretty good thunderstorm coming your way. All right, in addition to the damaging wind, frequent cloud-to-ground lightning strikes are occurring with these storms. So again, you want to move indoors immediately. This is all basic stuff here. Torrential downpours are occurring too, and this could lead to flash flooding. Remember, you don't want to drive your vehicles through flooded roadways. We all know that. But yet people still do it. You don't want to drive through barricades either. If there's a road with barricades up, the barricades are up for a reason. So, there's other ways that you can get to where you want to go. Let's see. All right, again, here's the outlook right here. And it just so happens National Weather Service and the Storm Prediction Center put this hatched area out a long time ago, and that's exactly where the heaviest thunderstorms have developed. So they have absolutely nailed this. And what I think you're going to start seeing is more of a bowing segment like this, all right, as it pushes off to the northeast, east-northeast. Remember, with a bowing segment like this, the strongest winds are always here at the apex, okay? So, for example, if you have 70-mile-an-hour straight-line winds being reported in a bowing segment, that 70-mile-an-hour gust is always here at the apex. Winds are lighter here, and they're lighter here on the edges. All right? So with that being said, right now it does not look like a bow, but we'll have to watch it. All right, if you're just now tuning in, again, severe thunderstorm warning has been issued for Philadelphia County. A lot of people out there right now because of the festivities and the fireworks show. Got a pretty good downpour, pretty good thunderstorm approaching from the west. Right now, I was just looking at it. I do not see 60-mile-an-hour winds in this. I don't. I see about 40 to 50-mile-an-hour, which is, look, it's still a good wind gust, but I don't see 60-mile-an-hour winds with this right now, okay? Which is good. But the National Weather Service is doing what they should be doing. They're getting everybody prepared for this storm as it approaches. You know what? I've got lights, right? Let me turn the lights on. Let there be light. Oh man, it just dawned on me that I'm sitting here in the dark. What the heck am I doing? Much better. much better. All right, we got another. Looks like we got another wind damage report coming in. Huge tree limb down on a front yard corner of Amish Road and Newport Road. All right, so that was this one here. All right, that's this leading edge right here. All right, that's where the damage reports are coming from. Here's the movement. It looks like it's moving due east. On its trajectory, it should pass just north of downtown Philadelphia. Maybe it goes over Conshohocken and Norristown. But where everybody's at right now for the concert, is that still going on? I haven't even had a chance to look. Is the whole concert series, is that going on right now? Looks like it should be going just north of there. You're still going to get wet. All right, this right here, I suddenly am. Let's zoom in here. You see this right here? I want you guys to focus on this right here. See this? Right there. That's starting to look a little concerning to me. Let's zoom on in. There's nothing there. These are huge straight line winds here. I've got winds. I don't see 60, which is good. But that is a good wind gust here. That's a good wind gust right there. All right, so right here, guys, this is where I'm looking. That's a good wind gust right there. It's probably still humming at about 50 miles per hour. All right, maybe it's a little bit stronger. But that's why they've got this warning out. That cell right there is why this whole area here is under the warning, because it's moving due east. Let's see where else we got here. All right, that's really it. Let's see the let's see the velocity mode down here. Yeah, this is all, you see this? This is all straight line wind. There's no rotation at all down here. This is all straight line wind. There's the movement. All right, let's go over to some of the questions here. Phoenixville, looks like Comcast is out. Lights flickering. Please, please, no outages. Yeah, I can. On a positive, and by the way, that's Dina who wrote into me. On a positive, at least we're on the tail end of this heat wave now and not just starting it. Because if it was, if today were Thursday or Friday and this heat wave was just starting and we were dealing with power outages, then it would be awful. Let's see. Jeff Sanza says, why the vertical pink line? Vertical pink line. Jeff, I'm not sure what you're talking about there. If you can elaborate a little bit and let me know, I'll get back to you. But I'm not sure what you mean by vertical pink line. Seeing dark clouds over Harleyville and just saw some lightning. That's what M says. The majority of it just passed us in Parksburg, PA. Power went down only for a few minutes, though. That's what Nancy reported. All right, that's good to know. Herschel Horn, 85% chance of rain. Lower main line at 9%. Nancy says she still has Comcast. Jeff says, on the windscreen. Hi.
Good night.
Are you going night-nights? Are you watching a movie? What are you going to do? You going to watch a movie for a little bit?
I want to ask my mom if I can watch my movie.
What movie do you want to watch?
Maybe Rapunzel.
Oh, I like Rapunzel. I want to watch Rapunzel
She's
too.
one of my favorite movies.
She's the one with the really long hair, right?
Yes.
And that's the one that goes, listen to your mumsy, right?
No. The
That's-
Mean Queen says that.
The Mean Queen says that?
Yeah.
Okay. I like that movie. Maybe I'll come up and watch it with you. How's that?
Mom, can we watch a movie tonight?
Listen to your mumsy.
Can we? Can we, Mom? Can we, Mom?
All right, let's see. What else do we got here? How about Delco Swarthmore? Closing in pretty quickly now on Delco. It's 8:30. There's Delaware County. I'm going to zoom right into Delaware County. All right, this right here is Delaware County. Okay. See that? Right there. That is Delaware County right there. Storms are getting pretty close. See that? They're probably only about a half hour away. Maybe 40 minutes. Swarthmore is right here. So it looks like the worst part of this is actually going to pass north of Swarthmore. All right, but you do have some stuff down here around Westchester. Westchester's going to get hit soon. All right, so Val says I'm confused. If I'm on the 4th floor of an apartment building, should I go to a lower level in a thunderstorm warning? No. Remember what I said about thunderstorm warnings, all right? They're different from tornado warnings. In a thunderstorm, all you have to really do is... Sorry, hold on. All right, so if it were a tornado warning... See, you're in a tough situation, and I always say this about high-rise apartments or townhouses. All right, in a thunderstorm warning, you just want to be inside and you want to get away from windows and off of electrical appliances. That's it. Doesn't matter if you're on the 1st floor or the 10th. All right, severe thunderstorm warning, which is all we're seeing right now. That's what you want to do. Indoors, away from windows, off of electrical appliances. Now, a tornado warning is a little bit different. And you're in a situation there. Let's say we had a tornado warning up for your neck of the woods and you're on the 4th floor. So this is where things, you have to get on the lowest floor that you can, and you're in an apartment, all right? So you only have 1 floor. So what I would recommend to you would be get into an interior room, maybe an interior closet, an interior hallway. You know, something that puts as many walls in between you and the outside as possible. Okay, that's what I would do. Now, you could also, I mean, if you want, you know, and you want to go down to the first floor, I mean, I can't argue that either if you have time, but the problem is you're probably going to end up getting in an elevator, and you don't want to be in an elevator during a tornado warning because if you lose power, let's just say the storm is hitting right as you're in there and you lose power, now you're stuck in the elevator. So I would, if it were me, I would just, and I'm in a tornado warning and I'm on the fourth floor, I'm getting in an interior hallway on the fourth floor or an interior closet. That's what I'm doing. Keeping my shoes on. Make sure your shoes are always on. There's a look at it. So we got that tag and we got that tag. These are two very impressive tags. We haven't seen wind gusts though up to this point that have produced winds even remotely close to that, which is good. So Debbie, Doylestown, I haven't really done much with Doylestown because Doylestown, that is Debbie Abramek Mumbauer. I hope I pronounced your name right. If I didn't, I apologize. So Doylestown, you know what, let's take a quick second and we'll zoom up to the Doylestown area. It does look like you've got a cell starting to approach now from the west. Where is Doylestown? Doylestown is somewhere, you know what, let me stop the motion so you guys can see where it is. Where the heck is Doylestown? There's Quakertown. Doylestown's got to be near Buckingham, right? Buckingham? Percy? Really? What, is every town going to show up on my map except for Doylestown? Holy cow. Let's see. There's Ben Salem. Where the heck is Doylestown? There's Doylestown right there. All right, I knew I wasn't losing my mind. All right, so Doylestown is right here. The area is circled. So right now, as we set it in motion, you got a couple thunderstorms. It's probably looking very, very well. We're getting pretty close to sunset here anyway, but the sky is probably pretty dark off to the northwest here as these thunderstorms are pushing right through Percy. They just now crossed over the northeast extension. Northeast extension between Harleysville and Trumbowersville got hit once. Looks like they're going to get hit again. All right, now the first cell is over Percy, going to move into Dublin soon. And then the second one will likely push over to the Doylestown area. All right, so that's Doylestown. That's where we are there. You do have a severe thunderstorm warning, all right? Winds potentially up to 60 miles per hour. All right, let's see what else we have. I am in Sellersville, and it is bad here. Sellersville, could you remind me what county that is, my friend? That is Jackie checking in. Danny says, Wildwood Beach was evacuated 35 minutes ago. And you know why you were evacuated, Danny? For that ridiculous severe thunderstorm warning that they issued. I don't know how in the world they really jumped the gun on that. You had one thunderstorm that developed near Slaughter Beach. It pushed over the mouth of the Delaware Bay, and as soon as it hit the water, it pretty much vanished. That's why the beaches were evacuated there. You don't have any warnings in effect. You can go out. If you want to go on the beach in Wildwood now, you can. There's nothing even on the radar out there now. Royersford is getting storms and wind. Thanks for that report, Deb. Thunder and wind starting here in Wilmington, Delaware. In Wilmington, huh? Wow, those storms are still pretty far off to the west. Karen says, I want rain. Williamstown. Thanks, Chris. All right, Williamstown, you still got some time. Still got a couple hours before it hits Williamstown. Bucks County is Sellersville. All right, let's go back up to Bucks. All right, so this county right here, guys, is Bucks County right here. All right, so you do have this starting to approach. It's coming out of Pottstown and Boyertown. This whole thing is warned with winds potentially up to 60 miles per hour. We do not have any tags on these storms, though, which is good. So what you see is what you get. As these storms push through, crossing over the northeast extension soon, you're probably going to get some pretty good rainfall rates out of it, maybe 1 to 2 inches an hour, and you're going to get winds probably 40 to 60 miles per hour. But they are moving quicker. These storms are moving a lot quicker than the ones to the south. They're moving at about 40 miles per hour. So like yesterday, they're not sticking around to smell the roses, so to speak. Let's see. Wanda says, thank you so much for keeping us in the know. My pleasure. Let's see. I get confused. I already answered that one. By the way, if you're on SowersSkywatch.com, I apologize. I I I somehow discontinued this live stream on that site, so the video block is blank right now. It's just black. I don't know how to fix that. I don't want to do anything right now because we are live here and I'm live on YouTube, and I'm afraid that if I start hitting buttons, that'll ruin everything. So just jump onto Facebook and jump onto my YouTube, and that's where I'm live right now for continuous coverage. And then I'll figure. Remember, this is all new to me, guys. So I'm getting better with the technical stuff. But if I had my buddy Drew with me right now, the guy in Central and Southern Tennessee and Alabama, if I had them with me, I wouldn't mind. I'd be hitting buttons all over the place. But I just don't want to take any chances. I want to get through this before I start hitting buttons. All right, this is going to be close. This is going to be close. Now, see, again, they put the warning up for Philadelphia County. Look at the blob. It's gone. It's just about gone. There's nothing severe about that at all now. I mean, unless it redevelops. That's fizzling out quick. That does not look like much to me at all. Let's go over to the velocity. It's all straight line. All right, you can see the boundary. Notice, again, watch this. See it right here? All right. So we're beginning to see, let me see if I can zoom in. We're beginning to see those gust fronts again. See it right here? Right there. That's the gust front. See that? Boom. Moving to the east. Now, remember what happened with this thing yesterday. All right, last night. You remember what happened? So we had a gust front well in advance of the thunderstorms. And what the gust front did was it weakened the initial thunderstorm. And then you had new thunderstorms out here develop out ahead of this. All right, because it kind of undercuts the warm, soupy air. So is that what happens with this one? It should be interesting to see. Let's set it in motion. All right, watch the boundary right here. See it? See that little line near Norristown? Right there. See that? That's the gust front. All right, and so that could very well be weakening this thunderstorm complex because there's not a lot here anymore. I can tell you right now that is certainly not severe. And like yesterday, they are also chipping away now at the severe thunderstorm watch from west to east. All right, and we knew this was going to happen. That's usually what they do. So see these counties here, Lancaster County, you're no longer, the severe threat in Lancaster County is done now for the night. All right, so you guys don't have to worry about severe weather at all anymore now. The warnings have expired in Lancaster County. The watch is no longer in effect in Lancaster County. I'm going to give you guys the all clear. But it is still raining out there, just no more severe weather. And again, same thing here. When this blows through, none of this looks like it did an hour and a half ago. None of it. Down here, though, even this stuff down here, crossing over the state line into Delaware, that looks like it's starting to peter out too. All right, it's 8:47, Washington Township. You guys might get this fireworks show in because these storms are off to the southwest. Again, I think what's going to end up happening here in the Washington Township area is you're going to wind up seeing the fireworks show go off, and then at the same time, as you're watching it, you see the lightning in the distance. You're probably going to see the thunderstorms in the distance. But I think places like Washington Township will get it in. Now, the fireworks show in Philadelphia, you can put the fire. I do remember I've seen them do the fireworks in rain before. I've seen them do the fireworks in fog before. I've seen them do them in really miserable weather. I don't know if they can launch the fireworks in downpours in a thunderstorm, though. So maybe they're delayed in Philadelphia. But even in Philly, I think they can get them off at some point. Here's a look at that satellite. Oh, look at those clouds closing on in. And look at the temperatures behind it, too. You see that? So you can clearly see where the downpours have not hit yet. Look to the east along the coastal plain in interior southern New Jersey. You still got temperatures in the low to mid-90s. And then out here to the west, to the left-hand part of your screen, look at the temperatures there. It's 72 right now in Lancaster and 75 in Harrisburg. That, my friends, is the stuff that is heading this way. And it can't get here soon enough. All right, there's a look at the temperatures. Let's go over to the dew points. Look, oh my gosh, look at the dew point drop. All right, right here. Disgusting. Breath of fresh air. Wow. Wow, that is huge. That is huge. All right, sticky in Philadelphia, although not terrible. Look at Reading, low 60s. That's not bad at all. Wow. Good. I'm tired of all this doggone humidity. Let's do the temperature and the winds. Winds are out of the west. That's what the arrows here are. Let's see. Here's a look at the heat index numbers. Let's look at the temperatures. Back over to the radar. You can see we got a slew of damage reports. You see these 60s? All right, so 60 mile an hour wind gusts now being confirmed, but let's see where. All right. That 60 mile an hour gust is confirmed. Okay, thanks, Paige. I'm going to have to go soon because Paigey wants me to watch Rapunzel with her. All right, so we got a couple areas here with a we have one here by Coatesville too. There's a confirmed 60 mile an hour gust out here, just east of Sadsburyville, right there. Here's all your storm damage reports there. That was initially from this cell here near Malvern. All right, this is the cell right here in between Malvern and Phoenixville that produced all these storm damage reports out here, just east of Lancaster. It's still holding its own, but it's a lot weaker than it was when it was out in Lancaster County. Moving off to the east, Phoenixville getting hit good. Norristown, if you're listening to me, should be inside right now, okay? You got the severe thunderstorm warning. Not a lot of lightning anymore, but you're likely still seeing gusts at least in the 50 to 60 mile an hour range. All right, you still have those colors there that would indicate strong, powerful winds. Heading up the northeast extension, all right, you can clearly see north of Lansdale, these are big, big downpours. This is definitely going to slow things down. Heavy drenching downpours pushing right over the northeast extension from, let's say, Hatfield north up into, what'd I do? What did I do? All right, let's see if we can. All right, I must have hit the wrong button. Hold on, I'll get you back. I don't know what I did there. Thankfully, I was able to get it back. All right, but anyway, there's a look at the heavy drenching thunderstorms there up towards Emmaus. Northeast extension from Quakertown up into Allentown is going to be a mess in about 20 minutes or so. All right, so get ready. Big, big downpours there. But again, look at the line now. It is pretty much non-existent now west of Philadelphia. It is very, very spotty, very, very broken. All right, down here to the south. All right, there's Washington Township right here. It is 8:52. All right, there's Washington Township right there. It's 8:52. Fireworks begin at 9. You guys are going to get them in. Congratulations, you're going to get them in. And again, I think you're going to end up seeing the lightning in the distance as the fireworks are being fired off. Here's Philly right here. All right, Philadelphia County. All right, it does look like this is passing by to the north. It's not raining in Philadelphia County, although we'll have to watch this thing coming out of Westchester. But it does appear, you know what, let's take a quick zoom because everybody is down there, right? Everybody is down in Center City. All right, so where is it? All right, so you're probably right here somewhere, the Art Museum. All right, and so if we look at the movement here, as long as these fireworks shows go off on time, which is 9 o'clock, they're going to get them in. Philly will get it in. Washington Township will get them in. All right, don't delay. If you're going to do it at 9. Don't delay, because if you delay, then you're going to have to deal with these thunderstorms. Severe thunderstorm warnings have now been issued here for the Wilmington area. Woodstown, you are also now under, at least the west side of town, under a severe thunderstorm warning because of these cells here. Hopewell Township, also the Hopewell Township in Cumberland County, not the one up there in Mercer County. Also under severe thunderstorm warning. Let's toggle on to this one. This is radar indicated winds up to 60 miles per hour. This one here towards Woodstown is also 60 mile an hour. So we're not looking at any tags with these thunderstorms, which is good, Can you guys hear the fireworks? I guess they're shooting them off in my neighborhood right now. Perfect. They're going to get these in. I'm so happy this is working out. This is good. A lot of lightning. Man, a ton of lightning with these thunderstorms down here in Delaware. Remember, severe thunderstorm warning, guys. I'm sure your phones are going off. Severe thunderstorm warnings. Just get inside. Stay away from windows, okay? And stay off of electrical appliances. That's all you have to do in a severe thunderstorm warning. That's it. All right? Tornado warnings obviously are a lot different, but we're not expecting tornadoes. This is all straight line wind stuff. Let's see, anything farther to the south? This one's getting beefy here. They're probably going to pop a warning for this one south of Seaford. Honestly, I'm surprised they haven't yet. The DBZs are way over 60. Let's go up to the Poconos. All right, I got to tell you guys, this is not bad. This is not bad at all. I'm very, very pleased with how this is playing out right now. Yes, we've got a couple reports of some tree branches down and a few power outages, but my goodness, from what the Weather Service and the Storm Prediction Center had been talking about all day, this is easy peasy stuff compared to what it could have been. So, you know, as long as things stay like this and don't get crazy over the next hour, we should be home free. Easy peasy stuff here. All right, Murphy. Fireworks are driving you nuts, I know. Come on in, go, buddy. Come on, let's go. All right, how about I turn the fan on for you so you don't hear the noise, okay? I know. Fireworks scare you, good buddy. I know. Come here, buddy. All right, I hope that fan isn't annoying. If it's too loud, somebody in the comments section tell me, because the fireworks are scaring the dog to death. It's okay, good buddy, bestest little friend. All right, good boy. Go ahead and sit down. Go ahead and sit down. What about the far northeast around the airport? Give it a half hour and you guys are going to get a thunderstorm out there. Let's see, pouring in Maple Glen with some strong winds. The residential fireworks have stopped. That's what Linda Dennis reports. Thank you for that report. Put him in your shower. Betty, I'm trying to avoid that. That's where he usually goes. Poor Murphy. Let's see. What else do we have here? Jennifer says she loves thunderstorms. Art Museum fireworks are at 11. Concert in delay. They evacuated the area. You know why they did that? They did that because the severe thunderstorm warning was issued. And look at this right now. Let's see. Yeah, honey? What? Yeah. That's it right there. They issued a severe thunderstorm warning for this cell right here near Norristown, and it's not severe right now. It's just a big downpour with maybe 40 to 50 mile an hour winds. What'd you say? But it's okay. If the fireworks are at 11, they're going to get the fireworks in too. That's good. Chris, you're the best. Thank you. Thank you, Dolores. I appreciate that. Delaware Weather Guy says, check out the one near Dover. The cell near Dover, I'm assuming. Let's see. Let's take a look at this guy here. It's all straight line wind. Definitely all straight line wind. No, there's no rotation at all with any of these. I haven't really seen any. Again, Pennsauken, Cherry Hill. You know, these are all areas that now see. This is the kind of stuff that I don't like. All right, so the National Weather Service just expanded this warning for the Washington Township area. Okay? That cell right now is all the way out towards Wilmington. By the time that cell gets to Washington Township, it's gonna be 40 minutes from now. That fireworks show, they could get it in right now. But that's what they're doing because there's so many folks out. I mean, look at how far in advance that they're issuing these warnings. Look at this. Here's the cell right here. And again, they're doing it because folks are out for the fireworks shows. But how long does a fireworks show last? Not the Philadelphia one. I'm talking about the local townships. Maybe 20 minutes. This could be all done with and over by the time this cell even gets to Washington Township. So, we'll see. We'll see what they're going to do. I don't know if they'll shoot them off or not now that they're going to start popping. Like, look at Philadelphia. Look. Where's the storm? There's nothing. Look. There's nothing. We do have this one here popping near Chester. It's no rotation at all. None. Absolutely none. It's all just wind. But there's hardly any lightning with any of these now. I mean, down here, there's one strike right there by Chester. South of Wilmington, we have a few cloud-to-ground lightning strikes. But, I mean, look at all the empty real estate in between these. The one towards Norristown, there's one here near Chester, one south of Wilmington. I mean, look at all the empty space here in between these cells. All right, so these are not, you know, it's not like we're seeing a full-blown line barreling through. You okay, little buddy? All right. Let's go farther. There's Philly Northeast. Someone asked me about Philly Northeast. There it is right there. Again, it's completely petering out. Watch this one right here. That's the one that I really want to see what it does. The airport, for reference, Philadelphia International Airport, is right here. All right, so this one could be moving in just like that. We'll see. Right, I mean, look at this. Right now, there's nothing. I don't know if any of these storms have. The DBZs aren't even at 60. So, yeah, honey. Excuse me, guys. I'll be right back, okay? What's that? right back, okay? Let's see. All right. I am gonna go upstairs with Paigey for a little bit here. What do you guys want me to do? I can shut this down, or I can just keep streaming this live if you want. Just let me know what you want me to do. What do you guys want? I'm gonna go upstairs with Paigey for a little bit, maybe 20 minutes, a half hour or so. Take a little break here because there's nothing really. I think you guys can see what's going on. These thunderstorms are quickly approaching now from the southwest. Do you want me to keep streaming this here? I can just keep this live on Facebook if you want. Yeah, Jimmy, I can keep the stream up. Please keep streaming. Okay, that's what I'll do. So, I'm going to keep it on this view, okay? Give me like 10 minutes and I'll be back, okay? Remember what's going on here? The orangey color is the severe thunderstorm watch. These bright colors here, these yellows, those are severe thunderstorm warnings, okay? And that's really it. This red outline here, that's the mesoscale discussion, okay? 55 to 70 miles per hour. Here's a look at the thunderstorms. I'm going to zoom in just a little bit more. There's Philly. Here they are right here. All right, I will keep the stream up. I'll be back in about 10 minutes or so, okay, guys? All right, I'll be right back. Murphy, you okay, buddy? You all right? I'll be right back, guys. Okay, buddy. All right, here we go. Okay, bud? It's okay. Around 7:10 in northwest Lancaster County, there was a 70-mile-an-hour wind gust. That's pretty nice. What about this one here? New Jersey Net Lower Alloways Creek Station recorded a wind gust of 58 miles per hour. Delaware.US 1 at something River Station, 64 mile per hour wind report. Here's 58 miles per hour, 50 knot wind gust recorded at Sassafras River, 55 mile per hour. That's what that is. Yeah, this thing is really petering out though, which is good. What's the matter, bud? You okay? All right, I'll tell you what. I'm going to sign off for the night. If things get a little crazy over the next, 45 minutes to an hour, I'll hop back on. But I like what I'm seeing here. Let me go back to the radar full. I like what I'm seeing here. Some of these storms are still popping winds of 50 miles per hour. In some cases, maybe a little bit stronger. But they're moving along quickly. You're going to get some downpours and some lightning strikes. And that should be it. The line will blow through shortly. And then we start seeing some cooler weather as we head into tomorrow. Now, tomorrow's still hot. All right, we're still talking about highs around 90. But at least we're not talking about temperatures over 100. And we're not talking about heat index numbers over 110. Okay? All right, so I'm going to sign off here. Again, if it gets wild, I'll hop back on. You guys have a great night, okay? This is always the funny part. I don't know how to sign off. I don't know how to sign off. All right, let's see.